Right, welcome back. And yes, Dr. Noha, the exact statement the President said was, what we can't leave all, what we can't take all, we can't leave all. So we'll have to work on all challenges at once in parallel. And that was a very, very precise description to the situation. Let's read into the President and his meetings and the statements he said during the address speech to the World Government Summits, and the interview he had, and also during his participation with the Billion Startups Roundtable, as it was said.
One of the things that he answered at the end of his interview, although it was the first question that the interviewer was approaching, but he gave the answer at the end. And he explained why the new administrative capital.
Why do you think he gave the answer at the end?
Because he was stating that the new administrative capital is part of the solution, or was part of the solution. It was part of the solution for the environment, because Cairo paralyzed roads, traffic jams means simply people staying more in cars, means people are using more energy or more fuel, means people are not living in a healthy environment, means simply fulfilling the needs of people to have homes, because one of the challenges that he has mentioned at the beginning was the overpopulation and the increase of the level of increase of population, how we are moving very fast, increasing, our population are increasing, and they need homes and food, etc. Also, it provided employment, because simply you needed people to work. Let's remember that in 2013 and 14, we were at a stage of 14% or slightly little unemployment, while you have 50% of your people are youth. They need to get jobs. They need to have families, to live in houses, and so on. So it came as part of the solution. Also, when the interviewer Faris asked him, you're building in roads, you need to build in people, he said, I did. And he mentioned how the initiatives for health. By the way, Egypt, he mentioned one initiative, which is Virus C, but there were 7.
100 million lives.
Yes.
Healthy lives.
Yes.
This big initiative that included 7 other initiatives
within them. One of them is for cancer, for women, for several initiatives. So simply, he
chronic
gave
diseases,
yes.
diabetes,
yes.
and all those.
And
indeed.
for free. He said that, well, actually, if the goal is to have full insurance for everyone. But we're starting with certain governorates till we reach, because we cannot do it, as he mentioned, we cannot do it all. And he praised the Gulf for supporting, and he congratulated them for all what they have, and he said, we continue to appreciate what you've given, and we pray that you continue your prosperity. But not all countries have this luxury, so simply we cannot solve our problems.
So let me re-ask the question. Why do you think he spoke about the new administrative city at the very end, well, on the contrary that the question was at the very beginning of the interview? Did he mean, because he said at the very beginning, I'm not speaking to leaders, I'm speaking to nations.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to clarify here what Egypt went through.
Mm-hmm.
So again, let me ask the question this way. Why the President spoke gradually about what happened in Egypt until he reached the new administrative capital?
Because you wouldn't have been able to make the new administrative capital if you haven't gone through all these reforms. And the new administrative capital comes at the, to reflect the better life for Egyptians, to show that this is the life Egyptians deserve. And also it was investments, and he explained how selling the land, he could have sold the land very cheap, but he built the infrastructure to be able to sell the land expensive to developers, and developers will build for people. He discussed how he seeks to have digital capital with smart capital, not a capital that is working business as usual. He mentioned that all the governments or all the ministries will be, government institutions will be moving to the new capital this year, and he made it very clear this year. So the city will be starting to have life in it. I really hope everyone can go and visit it. It's really built with culture, and with the right architecture. Roads are it's the kind of city that Egyptians deserve to have.
Indeed. Here, the president also spoke about how Egypt has went through gradual stages into what we have what we are in today, and withstand all the challenges that we've been through throughout the past period. One of the issues he spoke about is how Egypt is very much at this very particular stage encouraging private sector to go into the economy and to further contribute into this issue. How do you view that? How is Egypt taking the steps towards that?
We're taking it very seriously. I'm sure, Mona, that you've gone through the ownership, the policy document that we've produced, and we are now providing. Yes, and 32 companies already are either will be going to the stock market in different sectors, or will be increasing their capital, or will be sold to investors to work on, to have expand them and to make them work on it to be more profitable. So simply because the document states clearly that this will lead to an increase in the growth from 7 to 9%. So simply the private sector, there was reforms in the economy. Because without these reforms, it wouldn't have worked. There were reforms done in the economy, on the currency. There were reforms done on the administrative level, on the employees, on digitalization, and we still need to work also more and more on red tape and on the bureaucracy. It's coming. The reforms are continuing, and now we are calling for investors to come, foreign investors, or we are putting these companies in the capital market to make it more dynamic, and encouraging the private sector to have a role in the economy, because simply the time where the difficult times where the state had to do many things, now it is exiting a smooth exit based on how strategic is the commodity. If the commodity is very strategic, and it is, if they need to have control on it to offer it to everyone, like healthcare, they will continue, or they will they will continue as a main partner with the private sector. But some of the sectors simply they will exit completely, or some other sectors they will maintain their position and allow other private sector, or simply expand. It depends on the need for the society and for the people.
Here I have to speak about one session the president participated in, which spoke about empowering the private sector and the role of the Egyptian sovereign fund.
Yes. If you notice that recently we have the Minister of Planning, Dr. Hala Said, and she is making visits in the Gulf, providing, because she heads the sovereign fund, and simply she's trying to find to get foreign investors, and for this fund to be effective and to help the economy in Egypt for better.
Let me know from you, what is the Egyptian sovereign fund? Because many people do not know.
It's simply
about
responsible of what the state owns, what the sovereign state owns. And from there, either these funds are, or what the sovereign state can invest in, and so on. And that's why she's making this trips recently in the Gulf in order to discuss with our brothers. And here I make sure to say brothers, because the president said how important you are to us as brothers, and we will continue to be brothers. How we can, how would they be interested, and what are the opportunities for them to come and invest in Egypt? Egypt is a good place for investment, not only because you have 100 million consumers.
You mean an enormous market?
Yes, but also you have the free trade agreement in Africa, where through Egypt, whoever will come and invest in Egypt can have the market of Africa also.
Definitely, Egypt is the gate
And
towards
also
Africa, the northern gate for
and
Africa.
the stability. But we are continuing to work on facilitating for investors.
Right. The summit here hosts a set of interactive dialogue sessions within 6 themes: accelerating development, governance, future of societies and healthcare, exploring the frontiers, governing economic resilience, and connectivity. How can we connect together and work together in order to find what we've said at the very beginning, turn crises or turn challenges into real opportunities together, not as a one country or a one entity?
This is one of the pillars that you mentioned. What you mentioned is one of the pillars of connectivity: coming together, exchanging ideas, exchanging thoughts, cooperating, supporting through funds or supporting through different methods. But connectivity also would mean how to make cities smart, how to make the electronic virtual life serve the economy in general and help the people, how to make better lives through connectivity. Connectivity also, what the president mentioned about how connecting energy from one state to the other. How, for instance, now we're getting from some states natural gas, we are liquidating it into liquid natural gas, then because we have ITCO and Damietta, then we have stations, then we're transferring it to Europe. This is connectivity, where there is a win-win and a share of gain for everyone, every state, in order for the world to have a better life.
Shaping future governments. What or how can we put or highlight this very particular? What kind of governments do we need at this very upcoming stage? And here we're speaking about what we've seen during 2 years made it rather impossible for governments to survive. What kind of governments do we need at this upcoming stage?
Governments who are able to take decisions quickly, because you don't have the leisure of the time. Governments who listen to its people. Governments who have good governance. Governments who provides employment to people. Governments who respect their youth, and that's why, and provide opportunities for their youth, and that's why the ministers of youth are meeting together. Governments who simply give proper education and proper health care to their people. Simply governments who respect citizenship. And citizenship means you have duties and you have rights. So this kind of governments where there is the rule of law and good governance, this is where the world is discussing today sustainable development and sustainability, sustainable development goals. And it was mentioned several times, it's not only attaining goals, but how to sustain what you've attained and build on it. And that's why at the end of the interview, the broadcaster discussed that COP27 was a great success, and they will build on it in COP28, and the president said we've built on what's before, so continuity. continuity in the success stories, and reviewing, and whatever was negative or simply the cost was more than the benefit, eradicating.
Actually, Dr. Noha, remember that you said, or we said that the last time we saw each other was in COP27.
Yes.
It was in Sharm el-Sheikh.
Yes.
This time it would be in the United Arab Emirates.
Yes.
And this year, or during the year of sustainability in the United Arab Emirates, how can we really describe the brotherly, no, the more than brotherly, the very strong relations between the Arab brothers at this very particular time, and the importance of continuing with such heart and heart, hands in hands, and this kind of feelings, let me say, this kind of solidarity, integration?
I was just sharing a discussion today with a group of thinkers, and we were saying that there were times, or the older generations in the Gulf, they got maybe their education in Egypt. Some of them, their mothers were Egyptians, so the ties were natural. The new generations are different. Still, they have been seeing how their parents have been respecting Egypt, and that's why His Highness Hamad bin Mohammed bin Rashid said in his on his LinkedIn account today, while meeting the president, that our father have asked us to take care of Egypt. But also it has to be added to it a win-win. How we can help each other as states, how we can support each other as states for a better world, for a better Arab world. It's very important. The 22 countries needs to be better to be able to have Arab moving forward, and not in the state as we are now, where some countries are really suffering, and this is affecting the ability of the Arabs to have a leverage or to be able to solve crises or problems like the Palestinian conflict, for instance.
For an instant, and yet we've seen just before the president heads to Dubai,
Yes.
we've seen this important
Yes, it was held in the Arab League, where the president refused the trying to change the identity of Jerusalem.
They tell me that my time is out. However, I really need to end with one message that was really sent by the president today in just 1 minute. Doctor.
Well, he said it wasn't an easy ride, and simply we have a vision. He said that there are very good opportunities to work together. He showed gratitude to the Gulf people, and he was a man talking from the heart to the Gulf people and to our people, to the Egyptians too.
One more issue that he spoke about, that there was no fall or a failed country was able to come back completely.
Exactly. He said that it's very difficult, and he said that after 2011 and all what happened, these revolutions, simply we worked hard in order not to fail.
I guess that would be the role of the Arab countries, to stand by each other at this coming and bring back the failed states. I guess our time is out, Dr. Noha Bakr.
Before we end, let's say Happy Valentine to everyone. Tomorrow is Valentine, so don't forget to say nice words to each other and enjoy.
Indeed, indeed. A happy Valentine for all our audience and the whole world at large. Dr. Noha Bakr, Professor of Political Science, we thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Mona. Always a pleasure.
The pleasure is all ours, and dear viewers, many thanks for watching, and tomorrow would be another important debate with another colleague. Good night.